The member from Windsor West.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Speaker, we know that keeping class sizes manageable is fundamentally important to student success. We also know that the Liberal government is aware of the fact that all research points to the importance of class size caps to ensuring the best learning environment for our students. Just a few years ago, the Liberals said, and I quote, "We know smaller class sizes allow students to get more of the attention they need to learn to read, write, and do math at a high level," end quote. So, what happened? Our schools are already in chaos because of more than a decade of chronic underfunding of education in Ontario, and bigger class sizes will only make the problems worse. My question is simple. Will the Premier make the chaos in schools even worse for our kids by allowing class sizes to increase this fall? Yes or no?
Minister of Education.
Minister of Education.
Yes, thank you. And as I've said repeatedly to the member opposite, in fact, the funding model this year provides $22.5 billion, just like the funding model last year provided $22.5 billion, despite the fact that there are actually fewer students projected to be in the schools in September, which means we're actually spending more per student. If you were to look at the details of the funding model for next year, you would find that the class size generators in our grants are exactly the same next year as they are this year. So that I'm not sure why the member thinks that we are trying to change class sizes. That's not something that we are trying to do. The class size generators in the funding model are exactly the same now as they were last year.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, here we go again with the Minister of Education playing the blame game and refusing to take responsibility for the mass haircuts have made to education. We all know that
Stop the clock. Order. Please.
We all know that class size caps are on the table. Speaker, I find the Liberals' change of heart on class size caps very perplexing. It is clear that the Minister of Education has lost control of the situation and is now trying to force students to pay the price for her ill-informed cuts. All evidence suggests lower class size caps are important to preserving quality education for our kids. The Premier and her government pay lip service to evidence-based policy, but when it comes down to it, it's obvious that they are not committed. The Premier and her government are clearly out of touch with what matters to most families. So I'll try asking the Premier again. Will the Premier maintain current caps on class sizes to preserve the quality of children's education, or will she let class sizes increase this fall and force students to pay the price?
Minister.
Thank you, Speaker. And I want to make it clear that we remained absolutely committed to negotiating collective agreements with all of our partners, both the teachers' unions and the education workers. We have 3 months between now and next September. I fully intend to be at the bargaining table over the next 3 months and to reach those collective agreements. But I must repeat, we have not cut education funding. In fact, if you look at education funding since 2003, the per pupil funding has actually increased by over $4,000. The per pupil funding has gone up by 59%. That's not blaming anybody. That's just simply providing accurate information, Speaker.
Thank you.